Benchmade knives are extremely popular in the knife community, and there are two reasons for that in my opinion. The first being, of course, that they are very well made knives. Now, them being well made also means that most of them start at a higher price point, being around $80 or up. And they usually don't get too expensive. There are some exceptions, but usually range around $100, give or take 20. But then most of the knives that you see on the table fall into that price range. The second reason, in my opinion, that Benchmade knives are so popular is because they have something that is known as the access lock. Now, if you're not familiar with an access lock, then I would definitely recommend that you go to your local knife store or counter that sells knives, whether it be Cabela's or whatever. But I always try to encourage people to buy local, go to your mom and pop shops. But grab a Benchmade knife, whether it be a Griptilian like the one at the top here, or whether it be like a 940. Those are extremely popular models, and just kind of play around with it. Just kind of flick it out, see how it feels, and then you can close it by disengaging that access lock right back there. And I really like this new knife that just was released, and this is known as the Grizzly Ridge. And for those of you guys who have not seen this, this is a new 2018 knife, and I'm going to talk about my first impressions of this knife. I just received it in the mail, still got the box. I haven't destroyed the box yet by cutting it up yet, but I have gone through a few different packages with this knife to kind of get a little bit of experience with it, and I really like it. So first we'll start with some specs here. The weight on this is 3.7 ounces, and that's really good for a knife of this size, because there are knives such as the Benchmade Bugout, which are extremely lightweight. I think this is like 1 point something ounces, and honestly this kind of worked against it in my opinion. I was extremely popular in the knife community, and if you guys are looking for just a lightweight option, I'd say go for the Bugout. But for some reason, holding this next to the Bugout, I feel like just more confidence with this. I know it's a mental thing, of course, because all Benchmade knives are well made, like I said at the beginning. The centering on this knife when it's closed is just perfect. Let me go ahead and get a focus right here, and you can see that there, even though with the tight tolerances, there are no issues with the centering whatsoever. And then the pocket clip on this, you see it's that typical Benchmade pocket clip that are in so many different Benchmades these days. Well, I guess it's not on the Griptilian. Let's see here. What are some other ones? I know there are other Benchmades that have this pocket clip, or maybe it's just a little bit. Okay, so here's two more other knives that have this pocket clip, and yeah, I don't have any issues with it. I mean, I feel like it's pretty well made. This is the Benchmade Freak, by the way, and I'll tell you which one I like near the end of the video, or if I forget, just remind me in the comment sections. And moving on to deployment of the blade, how does it feel opening? How does it feel closing? And I have to say that even though I have some knives that are a little bit more pricier, such as this carbon fiber handle 940 knife, so technically this is known as the 940-1, I will still have to say that of all the knives, this is probably the best access lock feel of all of my Benchmade knives, and I did not think that I would be saying that. So I don't know what they did to this to improve it. I don't know if it's because they've just honed their skill by 2018, and it's something to look forward to moving forward. But yeah, the Bugout knife here, it's fine, but it's not nearly what the Grizzly Ridge is. So very, very smooth, probably the smoothest, one of the smoothest knives that I've ever owned, and I still think it's one of the best Benchmades as far as the access lock goes, which is what the Benchmades are known for. And then as far as the stability of this knife, I was messing with this earlier. There is no noticeable blade play, front, back, side to side. It is, locked up. It is perfect when it comes to that. As far as it being ambidextrous or not, you can carry this tip up in your pocket on either side. So that's the cool thing about having the access lock. Doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed, this knife is going to work for you guys. And then the handle itself is one of the most comfortable handles also that I have from Benchmade, and honestly one of the more comfortable knives just in general that I have. So it's difficult to know this unless you're holding these handles, but these Grizzly handles, and then this is, I believe, a Versaflex, and then this is Grizzly in the center, and that is very similar. If that sounds familiar, it's very similar to the Benchmade Freak, which is in my right hand. So I will just go ahead and tell you right now that I thought the Benchmade Freak was a little bit difficult getting that in and out of my pocket because of how grippy it was. It was almost overly grippy compared to, ironically, the aptly named Griptilian, which had just more textured coating, but there's nothing else. I mean, this is basically more or less plastic, just extremely durable plastic, of course. So having something with this texture on it that has grip, but it doesn't feel as grippy, so it doesn't feel overly grippy, I thought worked really, really well for the knife, which means that the knife not only feels good in hand, but also in pocket. It is not going to kind of fall out of your pocket, in a movie theater. You're like, well, where'd my knife go? And then kind of bonus, the handle also has, orange, accents, kind of different, the way, just depending on how you're looking at it. Look, you got access to a pillar right here. This one doesn't have it, but that's fine because I don't want that, something to interfere with the motion of the knife. And then you got an access right here on this thumb stud. And then, since we're talking about the ergonomics, there is jimping right here on the spine of the blade, as well as additional jimping right here, which is going to help those of you who are hunters. If you're wanting to use this knife outside, not only can you find this easier in the woods, but you're going to be able to hold this in different methods to be able to skin or whatever it is that you guys are needing your knife for. Not to mention that it's easy to keep clean. So you guys can see right through that. You just have some Q-tips or a handkerchief or whatever, and you guys are going to be able to keep this pretty well maintained. And moving on to the blade length, that is going to be 3.5 inches. It is S30V blade steel, and that's going to bump it up to the price of $123 is what I found online. And yes, this is made in the great USA. Like a lot of knives from Benchmade. I think all the Benchmade knives are made in Portland, Oregon, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Or at least all of their main line anyways. So an excellent knife. I am extremely happy with Benchmade's Grizzly Ridge. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. But I will say that out of everything, even though I mentioned all of those great features, the knife where it excels at the most is its slicing performance. So yes, it's a knife that not only feels good, and it's easy to open, and it stays in pocket, and it's ambidextrous, etc., etc. It has multiple grips to hold it, but it performs outstandingly, and that's because of this slight recurve right here. The only downfall that I can think of with this knife is that slight recurve is going to impact a little bit about its sharpening, but Benchmade has that lifetime sharp warranty that it talks about in its, let me see here, what is it called, Benchmade Sharp or something to that effect, where it has a warranty. Basically, you can send it in, your Life Sharp, you can send it in at any time, and they will resharpen your knife for free. You just have to pay for shipping. So that's the good thing about Benchmade. It is going to be a little bit more expensive, but it also is going to be better quality. If you're looking for if something is a little bit more budget friendly, guys, just check out my video I just did yesterday. I did on the new Buck Lightweight 110. So anyways, guys, hopefully this video gave you some more information, some more insight on this. I'll leave links on where you can purchase this, as always, in the description box down below. And I'll also leave links of the other knives that are on the table that are shown in this video. Y'all stay safe out there, and remember that it pays to be prepared. God bless.